Es ist die Zeit, dass die Show ein paar Eiden bekommt. Meine Damen und Herren an Variationen davon, das ist moderner Escapismus. Didn't you? Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Oodles. Like any good leader, king, god, emperor, I will be steering this podcast into oral Elysium. Joining me today in this quest, Aphrodite, the goddess of love, sex, and the female form, has nothing on this person. It's Biggie.
Schnell, Gott in Himmel!
We're cancelled already.
Because Daddy's not here. Hades, Brimstone, The River Styx, Charon the Boatman, Horrors Beyond Horrors, and Never-Ending Nightmares. To her, it's a Tuesday. It's Candy.
Heineken.
And mythology has such a vast, deep wealth of characters to describe this man. But there can only be one that I can really put as this man. I've gone for the half-man, half-goat Pan. 5-foot trickster. It's Stig.
Yeah, das ist good.
That is good. Unfortunately, our Uberführer, Gadget, is not here today. He's got the shits.
That's shitting.
That's shitting. I don't know why I started with German theme. I just wanted to appease Biggie. But anyway, yes, he's got the shits. We wish him a speedy recovery. But it's catching on. It's really catching on. This is the epidemic. Fucking shits.
The shitting.
Shitting.
Hat die Schneebli. Schnee, not Schiebel. Oh, whatever, fuck it.
Actually, it's Schneeblé.
Yeah.
Mr. Schneeblé. How is everyone doing?
Fine,
Yeah,
better than
right.
last
Hungover.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're back, mate, aren't you? Have you got any feedback from last week?
I did have, but then I was corrected by Biggie about it anyway. So,
Fantastic.
and also, a glory hole is actually a cupboard. You know this,
No.
right?
No. Yeah, well, maybe back in the past, but
Yeah.
everyone knows what a glory hole is now.
I mean, we know what one is now.
I mean, I think even in the 90s,
An old
a
deer
glory
talking
hole
about her
is...
glory hole is.
No, it wasn't an old deer. It was a young deer. She
It was a
knew.
young buck.
She knew.
Someone did once say glory hole to me, and when I was about just a messy cupboard once, and I did have a double take.
One of the chapters of my autobiography is going to be called Glory Hole. Quite a strong moment in my formative years.
Got a lot.
Anyway,
got a
have
lot
you-
of messy cupboards in your house, like messy.
No.
I prefer Victorious.
Biggie's still drunk.
It's like,
By the way,
no.
to let the listeners know, Biggie's been on a 2-day bender. So that man is 3 sheets to the wind. It's going to be the best news segment of all time this week. And plus, Gadget's not here to give us actual facts. Luckily, Stig's here because we would be fucked. We would be absolutely fucked.
I might just drop
But,
off just so it's you three. Listen to the chaos.
No, do not do this. Not in the mood I'm in. But yeah, if everyone's all right, and if you guys are keen, I'd like to hear some of that news. It's Biggie's breaking news.
You may already know, but he doesn't, because it's time for Biggie's Breaking News.
Hit it! Na 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 na. Here comes the newsreader. Biggie's News. I'm the lyrical podcaster. Biggie's News. Big up the Emmy and crude area. Biggie's News. Still love you like that. Biggie's News. Right. Sorry about that.
Have you not?
Very little prep went into that
I
one.
do love that song.
No little rap after.
haven't got time, mate.
Come on. Let's get some news. I bet loads of stuff's
comes
been
the big
happening this
news.
week. Murderer.
Here we go. FTC resumes its case against Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Yes.
It's
Once
back.
again,
Yes.
it's resuming its case after a pause over the summer. Means the FTC can still battle the deal, even if it closes, reports Bloomberg, though it won't derail its completion by the 18th of October. A new order released yesterday, which was the day that I got this news from, so I'm not going to tell you which day that is, states that the FTC has determined that the public interest warrants this matter by being resolved fully and expeditiously. Therefore, the Commission is returning the matter to adjudication. Whatever that means.
What do we think's going to happen then?
Well, I don't see
Realistically.
how they
Go
can go
through.
back on what it's gone through in the States. I don't know how they can go back on their word.
As far as I'm aware, they shook hands.
Mm.
The deal was done.
This is why we need Gadget to explain. He will know. He'll be
Gadget, come back!
he'll be shouting at his device now.
I'm pretty sure he gets the gamer broadsheets every day and just big, massive broadsheet newspapers all about the gaming industry. And he reads it all.
on the
I
toilet.
got
I thought you'd be subscribed to that being a gamer.
No.
I
Kicked me out of
just
the club, didn't they?
at this point, I'm kind of I just want the news of Microsoft has completed the acquisition, or Microsoft has been denied and won't be allowed to pursue it any further. That they're the
Yeah.
only two.
I also
I
wish
just want
that
news
they
of
weren't
one of
just
each
lying
of them, and then it's done with.
Yeah. I just wish they weren't lying in the first place. This has got nothing to do with Activision. It's got to do with the intellectual property, Call of Duty.
Mhm.
And they're making out it's not just that. Oh, no. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's all it is. And bit of honesty, guys. Why didn't they just buy that IP off them?
Pretty big though, if you can deny Sony Call of Duty. Innit?
Can do it. I like the rebelliousness of it, even though it is Monopoly at its highest caliber. There's still some kind of cheekiness to it, and I think it's funny. And I just like to see PlayStation fanboys crying into the wind.
I want to see it just get petty as shit between the two of them.
I mean, it's
Yeah, I
already
do.
getting
I
there,
do.
kind of, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Love
I
it.
really want to see that shit. I love it, mate.
Nintendo
I mean,
just sat on the sideline
if
laughing.
anything, Console Wars gives us content. If it's peacetime, we can't talk about shit, can we?
There should be an actual fight between Phil Spencer and, well, it's not Jim Ryan anymore, is it?
No.
Mr.
It'd be
Sony.
No, it's the Japanese man
if
now,
they,
isn't
if they just they organize this, so they just like literally hire like, you know, fucking the Mountain from Game of Thrones just for that
Yeah.
weekend.
Your strongest champion versus our strongest
Yeah.
champion.
and then sack him
The red.
afterwards.
Yeah, sack him. Yeah, I mean, Gadget will have something to say next week, surely. Next.
Oh, flashbacks. The Last of Us multiplayer game is basically on ice right now. According to Kotaku's sources, the game is not completely cancelled, but it's basically on ice. Initially starting out as a multiplayer companion to The Last of Us Part 2, the project grew in size and was eventually spun out to become a standalone title.
Mm.
Hands up if anyone gave a shit about that. Oh, no one's raised their
Yeah, it's
hand.
been
I think
That's
that
funny.
might be something
going
to do with.
on for so long.
I think that might be something to do with something we'll be talking about later in the news.
Who cares? Like there are so many. I'm sure there's so many better on.
Don't get me wrong, right?
multiplayer
On the
games.
original Last of Us, Factions was fun as an add-on to an actual game that you bought. It was fun for
Yeah,
a
I played it
weekend.
briefly.
That's it. It's just fun for a weekend.
I mean, I'm playing
Okay.
The Last of Us mainly for the story and the environments and the graphics and
Yeah.
all that. You know, it's fine as a shooter, but it's not something that I'd
Yeah,
adapt.
it's competent.
Yeah, that I'd adapt into a competitive online shooter.
But if you wanted that competitive online shooter, then you do play your Call of Duties. You do play your
Yeah, you play the ones
Warzones
that
and
do it well.
You play the ones that literally, even God forbid, Destiny, because apparently that's. I mean, it used to have some of the best shooting I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
Play the good ones.
It was really good.
Don't waste your time with it. Don't waste your time. Give us another Uncharted. Fuck it. Let's do this. Let's go.
Well, one thing apparently they might be busy with, The Last of Us 2 PS5 remaster seems to be real. Plenty of rumours around the internet, based on evidence coming from a LinkedIn profile of a Naughty Dog developer, as spotted by Insider Gaming, who claims to have worked on The Last of Us Part 1 and The Last of Us Part 2 remastered, it said. The profile has since been updated, and the mention of the second project has been removed, which can mean anything, really. It's been in the works for years, reportedly.
It sounds like a waste of time to me.
What did,
Yeah, I mean, it already
didn't come
looks
out-
amazing, but if you kind of go off...
I played the it's not a remaster or anything like it's an upscaled version when you put it on the PS5, isn't it? It goes to is it 60 frames plus ray tracing, HDR when you put it on the PlayStation 5. It does everything. It even does some stuff with the triggers. Why would you spend 70 quid on a box that says PS5 on it?
Yeah, I thought we already had that. I thought it.
Exactly. There was an upgrade, wasn't there? There was
Yeah.
some kind of over-the-air upgrade to the PS4 version.
Yeah, 'cause that's
we
the version
mentioned
I
it on the
got.
show. We played this on the show. You know what I mean? Me and Gadget reviewed it. I hope it's not real, but saying
I
that,
don't see the point. I just because
it's just
the leap between PS4 and PS5 ain't that big.
nothing.
Yeah.
So
And it looked
Nothing.
great.
It did look great. And again, you can put the PS4 disc in that you can probably buy for about 20 quid anywhere. And you've got your next gen version. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It was that good. They based the remaster of The Last of Us on that.
this is like
Mind you, I
cheap
have seen
port.
in CEX that they do sell the titles for the PS4 and PS5 at the same price because of the free upgrade. So you have to look hard online to find that deal.
Yeah, but the PS4 version's been out for so long now. It's not cheap. It's not expensive, I mean.
No, but I'm saying that CEX sell both copies, the PS5 and the PS4, at the same price because they know you can upgrade on the PS5.
Ah, yeah.
Free.
Nasty buggers. Yeah, I think I did that with a recent Cyberpunk, weren't it? Cyberpunk. I just think it's bullshit,
speaking of-
but it might happen.
With the related incident about the multiplayer, Kotaku have also reported that layoffs are happening at Naughty Dog with no severance pay for those involved. They've also reported that the redundancies were for non-full-time staff in various departments within the Santa Monica studio. And this has also happened at Telltale Games as well recently.
So they're getting rid of agency staff.
So I just want to point something out that I thought was interesting that was in the Discord. I think it was Best Boy Kurt mentioned it, that could this be a video game crash imminent?
Sounds
Considering
I said that.
like
I
it,
said
doesn't
there's
it?
been a lot
like from the
of
70s and
companies
80s,
are
the
doing
video
this.
game crash was catastrophic. It wasn't. I think the thing that pulled it back was Nintendo. You know what I mean? With the NES, that started bringing it all back, and then cheaper PCs and blah 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 blah. But that crash from the 70s with Atari and stuff, that was massive.
It's the ET game,
It
wasn't it?
just stopped. Nobody got
I
games
thought it was
anymore.
the 80s, wasn't it? I thought it
It
was
might
the
have been the
80s.
80s. It might have been the 80s, but
Yeah,
it just stopped, didn't it?
It's definitely the 80s because late 70s is like Pong.
Pong. Yeah. I weren't born, but I know it stopped for years.
I think maybe the issue is look how long it takes for a huge AAA game to come out now that
years now, innit?
works right and looks right and everything is just as it should be. It's taking a lot longer to make them than it used to.
Yeah, I agree.
And you've had COVID as well.
Yeah.
The
And if you,
fallout from COVID, and a lot of games are being delayed when they're about to be launched. It's like, no, we need to work on.
Well, look at
whatever
it
is
like
that
all like the
their
other
usual
kind of
statements.
mid-tier games like AA games and stuff like that. They've just not been hitting, have they? Like,
Yeah.
you look at
Nothing has,
you like
has it?
originally, you look like the trailer of them or something. Oh, that looks all right, and then it comes to launch, and everyone's like, "This doesn't work. This doesn't work." That like the dialogue's crap. The gameplay's crap.
Well, a lot of stuff's coming out that, like, your mid-tier ones, your double A's, like recently at Lies of P, everyone's saying, "Oh, it's great, this." No one's buying it. You don't hear
But
anyone
that's
kicking
the
off
other
about
thing.
it, like, this is the best.
Is
No one-
Game Pass becoming a hindrance as well? Like people aren't buying the games because they've got it on Game Pass,
This-
and how much money are they actually
Yeah.
making back from Microsoft out
How
of
much
that?
money are they making? Yeah, there's a lot of factors. But some kind of crash. But then again, I think someone did say in our Discord that the indie scene
I was just about to say there's some
could stop
fucking great
a crash from happening.
indie
The
games.
indie scene's never been better.
Yeah, but you've got too many
Yeah.
people that are just like, I don't like playing indie games. I want AAA games. Like,
Well, fuck them. They don't deserve games.
I'm going to talk about an indie game coming up. It's fucking incredible.
Some of the best experiences I've had this year are indie games. One of my gotties that I'm going to be putting forward is Dredge. That's not a AAA game. Know what I mean? That's literally one of the best games I've played in about 5 years. Fuck these idiots, man. Fuck them. But yeah, that could stop the crash from happening. If it could be a multi-million crash for the big players, who'll just split off and branch off and start creating their own games in the bedrooms. And we've just got these sensational... We don't use the word indie games anymore. They're just called games. Because that becomes the norm. But you don't get these massive $10 billion God of War Ragnaroks for a very long time. And everyone's just got PCs then because that's all you can play them
But
on.
even when you get them, everyone just moans, oh, it looks like DLC. It's like, well, they're going to reuse assets of the previous game.
Yeah.
Like every other game, when we had PS1 games, PS2 games,
You
PS3
should
games,
see the...
they all used assets and looked like the previous game. They just had better graphics.
It might not be in this news, but did you see the review bombing of Assassin's Creed Mirage because they used the same cat pet animation as Valhalla? And everyone's
Literally
going,
unplayable.
"Oh!" This budget title, by the way, it's not a full price game.
Yeah, who cares? It's the fucking pack. It's like people complained about the fact that they used the same animation for God of War and Ragnarok for him getting on and off the boat. Why would Kratos all of a sudden just
Why would he change
up the way he gets off the boat? Like, that's not.
I open
a
the door
thing.
the same way I've opened the door for the last 30 odd years. Do you know what I mean? I open doors. I get off things the same.
If all of a sudden he was like doing
a lot more agony nowadays. I go, ooh,
like some kind of triple backflip off it. It looked fucking stupid, wasn't it? Like,
it's fucking ridiculous. I hate gamers. Next.
I think we may have got off the actual news talking point there, but yeah.
Gadget's not here. Get ready, listeners. Gonna be one of them.
This one's for you, Oodles. Square Enix has finally made it possible to play all of Final Fantasy XIV completely solo. As reported by VG 24/7, FF14's patch 6.5 has brought the game's duty support system, which lets players bring NPCs into dungeons instead of other players, up to date to include every part of the game. And then it mentions Stormblood dungeons, the Drowned City of Scala, the Burn, and the Gimlet Dark were the last to be made available with duty support. The brand new dungeon Lunar Subterrane also works with the new system immediately.
So is this going to be like AI characters? Because some of these are raids and stuff like that. I played a lot of that game. Not as much as some of our listeners, but I played up until the free trial. I mean, it were hours, like tens of hours of it on my own. And there's some bits I just could not do it on my own. So I wonder if it's going to be AI-controlled companions or something like that.
Elder Scrolls Online introduced something fairly similar, and it was you could take every player. You could take one companion, so you wouldn't be able to do it totally solo, but you could do what their version of a raid that would normally be 12 people with 6 and companions, and it was just a fucking miserable experience. Like the AI was just not there. It just wasn't great.
Heal me, motherfucker!
Like you might be able to scrape through like barely, but I don't know how much of an enjoyable experience it would be. But the thing is, an MMO, you know, just if you don't want to play an MMO, don't play Final Fantasy 14. There's plenty of good Final Fantasy games.
Yeah. No, but you have to understand this, Candy. That is the only game that Square Enix are making money off.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
They need to keep supporting that game. 16
You still need a
fell off cliff.
subscription to play. You still need a subscription
of course,
online for it.
That is how that company still exists. That one game. Trust me. And Final Fantasy VII still sells for some reason. It still charts in like top 200 and it came out in 1997. Do you know what I mean? Some people are still buying that game.
Timeless.
Fuck. Yeah.
I can confirm some people still play it today.
That's what I mean. That's all they got. That's all they got. Next.
Nintendo came out with an announcement with discontinuation of
We
online
have
services.
cancelled. We are no longer a game company anymore. We've quit. Is that the announcement?
No. Online services for Nintendo 3DS and the Wii U software. It said in early April 24, Online play and other functionality that uses online communication will end for the 3DS and Wii U software. This will also include online cooperative play, internet rankings, and data distribution. We will announce a specific end date and timing at a later date. Then they said, please note that if an event occurs that would make it difficult to continue online services earlier, we will have to do them planned.
If anyone wants to hit me up that has a 3DS or something like that, like I have, I've got a link to a mega file that's got literally every game on it. If you want it, I'll give you. I'll give you the link. It's very, very easy to hack that console. Absolutely. Yeah. I own every single 3DS and DS game.
Only if you own them.
All 10,000 of them. I have the ultimate mega file. It's up there. It still works. Hit me up, guys, for £1. Not as to me, patron. Just for the patron. Just for the patron. I don't want the pound. God, I'm rich as fuck, me. Just the patron.
It's a good thing Nintendo aren't notoriously litigious.
Not with their legacy stuff, though, are they?
I suppose
not. After they just forget it exists.
Do they, though?
I mean, that 3DS has been hackable for years. I've got the new 3DS. Sensational bit of kit, that, still.
It's your fave, isn't it?
I fucking love it, man.
It's great.
Next.
Wish my kids had played more than fucking Roblox.
Oh, sad.
5 former Ubisoft executives were arrested after sexual harassment investigation by the French police following a year-long investigation into sexual assault and harassment within the company. French newspaper Liberation reported that there were 3 arrested, with another 2 placed in custody. Among those arrested are former chief creative officer Sergei Haskowit and ex-VP of editorial and creative services Tommy Francois. Both left the publisher in summer 2020 following these
is the
allegations.
most French name I've ever heard in my life.
I know.
It's like Jacques Le Cube.
Pierre Baguette.
Pierre Baguette.
I guess it's sad that the event happened, but it's good that they've continued the investigation and arrested the fuckers.
I was going to say, at least they're taking it seriously. Man. That didn't happen with the
Chop
Blizzard
the knobs
stuff.
off.
Yeah,
exactly. At least it was taken seriously, investigated, and they've been arrested and charged with it. So good.
Vive la France.
Are they like notoriously like hardcore, the French police anyway? They're like a hardcore police force. They don't give a fuck.
Yep. Well,
as long as it's not Inspector Clouseau, you're probably right.
Chuck them in the Bastille, leave them. That's it, done. Fucking too right, leave. Let them rot, man. Disgusting, horrible people. Next.
Sony Pictures Core has been announced that will allow PS4 and PS5 users to buy or rent films as well as get early access to purchase select Sony films. Sony is completely revamping the Crunchyroll app to be compatible with all smart TVs on the market as well when this is completed. Crunchyroll will be integrated into the PlayStation Plus catalogue with the extra and premium tiers.
I saw
and
that.
They will get free access to a catalogue of up to 100 movies. And I've had a look at this, and there's some
good shit on there, isn't there?
Yeah. I'm pumped for Crunchyroll.
You can watch Morbius and stuff like that.
What's the difference though? Because Sony, didn't they, within the last 3 years, cancel their movie service?
It was that View service. Not View, it was something else, wasn't it? They cancelled it completely.
Yeah, so what's the difference? Why are they now starting it up again?
More money. Cost more.
Right.
But I guess it's, if they've got the licenses to the movies,
Crunchyroll's a great app.
They can just put it there.
And if I'm getting Crunchyroll ad-free...
So this is
part it might be worth $7.99 a month for PlayStation Plus.
So this is now part of PlayStation Plus rather than a separate thing?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah. With no adverts, because the Crunchyroll adverts are ridiculous. Those are the YouTube ones.
Yeah, I don't know if the Crunchyroll thing is up and running yet, but the pictures one is. I had a look and scanned.
How many films you bought?
No, none. No, I was looking at the free ones, the ones that came as part of the PlayStation Plus thing.
Yeah. I mean, it'll get me on board because I watch Crunchyroll a lot. Yeah,
do you know what? I think like for the game subscription, no, but if it's got movies and Crunchyroll as well, then yeah, I'm tempted.
Yeah, it's a bit of a more of a... Hang on. That sounds like something Xbox would do. Oh, what are they thinking over there at Sony Towers? Next.
In its own side quest to save Cyberpunk 2077, CD Projekt Red spent over $85 million on fanny libs. That's almost half the cost of the base game. The exact breakdown comes down to the currency. Is it Russian?
Polish.
It's CD Projekt. Polish. Sorry, thank you. On direct production expenditures and another 95 million in Polish currency on marketing campaign costs. When converted to US dollars, about 62.8 million and 21.7 million respectively, or roughly 85 million in total. But they're also busy. Sorry, go on.
I was just about to say, like, it's fucking worth it. It's such a good game.
I don't know if you saw this. I didn't add this to the news, but they just today released a documentary about the making of Fanny Libs. So I might watch it after.
What's
I've
it called?
played
The Fanny Libs story.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's right.
It's so fucking good. It's literally tipping my game at year away. And it's a fucking 3-year-old game. We ain't got them silly rules that other podcasts have, by the way, guys. We can bring anything.
It's
I'm bringing Killzone.
No, you're not. You haven't played it this year.
You said anything? You said that. Cat Noodle's just making up rules here, man. I could just watch a film.
Well, it's DLC, innit?
Yeah, you could bring the DLC. You're not bringing the main game. DLC is fine.
Have some.
I could watch the fucking Apocalypse Now for the first
The
time and be like,
Godfather is the
I've watched
film
this for
of
the
the
first time.
No, I like the rule. I think it's fair. That you
DLC.
can bring whatever you. He said whatever you played, whatever you enjoyed this year.
I thought
It's
in my
your
head when
game
we
of the year,
decided
your
to do
movie of the
Escapism
year.
and stuff, it would be what we've done this year.
Yeah,
But
I like it.
Stig likes a competition.
Not like a competition. That just makes no fucking sense.
It does.
Doesn't at all, but move on.
You decide, listeners. You decide.
Team Oodles.
No,
Cheers, babe.
look, I understand this. This is completely odd. I'm airing out on beef now here in front
Let's
of us.
do this.
Do it.
Come on, get it out, baby. Get it
When
out,
we
baby.
do our best thing of the year, fine. But when we're talking about like game of the year and film of the year, that's surely of the year, not what we've enjoyed this year.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm on about that. What
Oh,
that one
right,
that we
yeah,
just
yeah,
done
yeah,
as
fine.
best
Moving
of
on.
the year.
Actually, Gadget, fuck it, edit all that out.
Nope.
Mum and Dad are fighting.
Leave it in because
Keep it
Biggie
in.
was nice to me.
Transparency.
No,
And it felt absolutely transparency. And you are Mr. HR.
Yes, thank you.
Next.
Speaking of Cyberpunk, they've just announced that a live-action project is in the works.
Yes.
It's begun a collaboration with global media company Anonymous Content to develop a live-action project set in the world of its best-selling video game, Cyberpunk 2077.
Edge Runners was great as well.
They were
weren't
known. They were known for producing Emmy Award-winning series such as True Detective and Mr. Robot, as well as the Academy Award-winning films
Oh,
The
no
Revenant
way.
and Spotlight.
That's a bit of a
There's
pedigree, then,
potential.
isn't it?
Do you think it will be a series, or do you think they're going to go out for a movie?
TV,
I think
everything's
series.
TV these
I think a
times.
series would be good.
Yeah, that's what's making money at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can't tell a
absolutely.
story in that world in a 2-hour film.
No, it's too much. You can't tell
Too
it
many
in
phone calls.
an 80-hour game, mate. There's not much. You can turn the phone calls off. It's great.
That would be quite funny if they did a TV show that someone the character just kept getting phone calls and was just like, "Fucks."
Throw the phone out.
Yeah.
I went to go into an area and it says, please purchase this DLC.
I just can't believe how it's all turned around and I've become a big Cyberpunk fan. I feel sick. Because I hated that game for so long.
I love the aesthetics of it. It's just everything else just was. But
The aesthetics is your bedroom behind you.
yeah, that's exactly it. But I really wanted to love Cyberpunk, and I almost did. It's just that
Now you can.
now I can, and
Now it's cool to be into it.
Everything except Cyberpunk in the Cyberpunk universe was awesome.
Yeah, the actual IP.
Ironically.
Yeah, it's great now. I don't know if you've jumped back into it yet, Candy, but ooh, girl.
Not yet. I'm gonna play it on my computer.
Next.
ChatGPT was used to write the Gollum game apology, it's claimed. In interviews with the German gaming outlet Game 2, spotted by Noble, several former Daedalic staff members have spoken for the first time about what went wrong with the critically panned licensed game. Following the release of Gollum, Daedalic apologised for delivering what it called an underwhelming experience with the final game. The company said, "We deeply regret," and that the game did not meet expectations and pledged to improve it via future updates. It's now claimed that the apology was written with the AI software ChatGPT, according to two sources.
Fucked up. really is fun. Remember when they offered us all codes of it, and we're like, nah.
It's even worse. It's also
People
claimed
were
that
like,
the developer.
Gadget was going to
It's
do it
also
and
claimed
play
that
it
the-
on the stream. Was just in the end, I think he just thought, "Fuck,
Oh, yeah,
can't
it
be
was,
bothered
wasn't
with
it?
this."
We're just like, we're not doing it. We're not going to say, well done, Daedalic. You made a fucking car crash of a game. I don't like being
listen to
negative
this
about
bit.
stuff.
It's also claimed that the developer Daedalic had no knowledge of the apology or its content prior to publishing.
You think they said to someone, right, we need you to make an apology, and they just thought, I cannot be bothered. I can't.
Google it.
They probably thought, I can't, in good faith, write an apology for this game because it's so bad. So they just got ChatGPT
'Cause I don't believe
to do
in
it.
it.
Yeah, they didn't believe in the apology.
You were there. You guys played that ChatGPT quiz that I gave to you. It don't work. It don't work. It just does not work. Oh, God, that company's going to disappear, innit?
They're
They're going to go. They're going to
horrendous.
disappear. I think that's
I thought they were already
worst
in
rated
trouble,
game
weren't
of
they?
year, innit? They've been in
When they were
trouble
already
for a
in
while.
trouble.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I thought they were already. Didn't they cancel future games or something?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure I read
They're
that
fucked.
in news before.
Oh,
They
it's a
were,
shame, but
for
that
some
game,
reason,
man.
a random looking game developer company that somehow acquired the Lord of the Rings property from EA, who did some good fucking Lord of the Rings games. Let's be real. And these guys just turned up and fucking ruined it. And the Tolkien estate's like, no, mate, bring it back.
That said, though,
Let's take that back.
that said, can we do a Razzies at Christmas as well? Like the worst things of the year. We haven't done a Razzies yet, have we?
Oh, that's a good idea.
We could do it on the live show. We do like wearing clothes and costumes.
Oh, we do. We do like bitching
I'll
about
have to ring
things
up
too.
Walker McCoy though, won't I? I'll have to see if he's available at Christmas. I don't think he is. I don't know where he goes at Christmas. You know, Stig? You've seen him in a while?
Get him for a fee.
Oh, there you go.
For
Ooh,
the Razzies,
December's
can we
gonna
get
be great.
Dave Little or something in?
Who?
Dave Little. Instead of Walker's Christmas. Dave Little.
Seabrook.
No.
Seabrook.
Steve Seabrook.
Mr. Seabrook.
Ryan Seabrook.
Next.
All right, next. Can't you go back?
VFX workers at Disney have voted unanimously to unionise, which is good.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
I'm
You know
banging
that
to that.
goes.
Good luck,
And
comrades.
Yes. And speaking of Disney, Disney Plus say they may limit or terminate people's access to the service if they've committed password sharing once the rules against it are put in place.
Yeah, everyone's doing that now, aren't they?
I am one of them.
Yeah, we
I'm-
share.
yeah,
I
yeah.
share
I'm
with my
leech.
brother.
I'm leeching off someone.
Mm.
He has my Netflix. I've got
I
his
don't do
Disney.
it. I don't do that leeching shit, and I don't give mine away to anyone else. Tight. But I can't see harm in it personally. You get what I mean? I feel like if someone's leeching, that's free advertising for somebody, because then you could turn around and say, I'm not paying for this anymore, but they'll go, oh, we still like it though, so we'll start buying it.
Problem is,
yeah.
Netflix subscriptions went up when their password sharing got taken away.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
Disney have obviously looked at that and go, well, people still pay
It
it.
works.
Yeah.
They're going, oh, fucking hell, Ahsoka costs us a fortune. We need to get some money back.
We may need to look into Patreon to see if people are sharing Patreon content of our shows.
Well, I've had news on the Emmy goblins came into my office the other day and said people have been sharing the podcast feed. There's a spy. There's a spy. There's a spy. I think it's you, Biggie. I think you're leaking it, like Snowden.
No.
Next.
Jason Blum says the Five Nights at Freddy's movie has has already made more than its budget back from the sale of its streaming and theatrical distribution rights.
It's going to be a massive hit, I reckon.
I don't fully understand what Five Nights at Freddy's is. It's like a
Jump
they're
scare, isn't
animatronics,
it?
aren't they? Animatronics jump scary things, aren't they?
Yeah.
The kids love it.
Didn't Nicolas Cage do a film very similar to that
Yeah.
recently?
Basically.
Wally's Wonder World or something.
Mm.
Something like that.
But it's definitely kids wanting that, and the mum and dad are going, yeah, sure, why not? And people are getting mutilated on screen. As long as there's no shagging in it, I don't care. Let my kids watch it. Bit of blood and a bit of scares is fine for a young'un, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, if it's just a jump scare, yeah. To be fair, I played it.
I draw the line at shagging, basically. None of that. Next.
Next, James Gunn says Peacemaker Season 2 will be canon to the DCU and will also address how Season 1 is no longer canon. I don't understand any of this. I've not seen
That
it,
sounds
but-
exactly like a James Gunn thing to do.
He woke up and it was
that's
all a
brilliant.
dream.
He's basically gone, I had this really successful show that everyone loved. I've got these great characters. We've rebooted everything, but I want to keep it. And, I'm in charge, so I'm keeping it.
I like that. Again, another rebel, and I love a rebel. He's gonna make the DCEU the best one, isn't he? He's
I
absolutely
would
gonna
love,
do
Fred,
it.
do you know what I want? Do you know what I want? I want the current DCEU. I want Peacemaker Season 2 to start in that universe and it implode on itself, and somehow they get out into a different multiverse. But that one is destroyed, meaning they can never go back to it.
Yeah.
So there's none of this. Oh, well, they were in that.
Email him.
Yeah, they were in that universe, which means one day we might get that back. And he's got, nah, fuck it, I destroyed that one. It is gone. It's dead. Everyone in that universe is
banging to
gone.
that.
But somehow Peacemaker and crew jumped over.
You mean in the DC universe, in the canon, there's 52 multi worlds. That's why it's called New 52.
Yeah.
The actual current thing that we're in now. That's why there's 5 Batmans.
How did
that could work?
How did a Z-list villain become the best thing?
It's so
Makes
wild.
no
isn't it? It's so wild.
As a toilet seat for a
villain
helmet.
that's he never had his own comic book run ever. No standalone comic whatsoever, and he's become an absolute smash.
Yeah, because that's what good
Love it.
writing
Love it,
and
mate.
storytelling does.
Absolutely. Bring it on. I trust in him. I did end up. I rewatched Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and yeah, it's the best one they've done on the MCU side, haven't they? And it's James Gunn.
This phase, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So they know what they're doing.
Well,
he knows
Spider-Man's
he's
up there,
He's going to
but-
save it. Oh, Spider-Man, yeah, of course. But yeah. DCEU, the one to watch. I bet fucking Marvel is shit in this sense. But they're absolutely bricking it. I hadn't started watching Loki yet, so God knows how that's going to be. Next.
I've heard positive stuff about that.
Good.
Studio Ghibli's The Boy and the Heron UK release date confirmed for December 26th, Boxing Day. It's a Christmas miracle.
Yes.
Do you guys do stuff on Boxing Day, or do you just sit in the house and
Go to my parents' house.
Yeah,
Tickle your-
do the house thing generally.
tickle your bellies and stuff like that?
No, it's always
Eat more
it's
turkey.
always my family meet up at the parents' house. My parents' house, Boxing Day.
Christmas too.
Yeah, I go for Christmas too.
Yeah. Fuck the
I mean,
stress
we
of going
used
to
to
the
do
shops for
Christmas too,
deals.
but not for a long time. Not
But
for a long time.
If this film is out and they're showing it in the morning, we don't go there
That's
until
what
the
I'm saying, bro.
afternoon.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
I
saying.
think I might go watch it.
Come on, kids. You could say, oh, I forgot one extra present, girls. Yay, Daddy, you're the best daddy in the world.
They like Ghibli films.
Oh,
So.
that's a really good idea, actually.
I know
I might
they
do
do.
that.
That's what I'm saying. Is that secret gift at end? Because you've been extra good girls this year, apart from at bedtime. Daddy's bought you these tickets. Boom. That's how you win. That's how you become best dad. It's a great idea. And it's not too expensive, is it, as a Christmas present, that?
Pre-sales for the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie, this is mental, has passed
Stig's getting
100
excited.
million already for pre-sale figures of
He's bought it.
one of the biggest
fucking bought
pre-sale
it.
figures of box office history.
That's mental.
Yeah.
So is it just a film?
It's just a concert.
A live concert?
It's just a concert on a cinema
Yeah.
screen.
That's a really good
Hey,
idea,
somet-
though.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I've seen concert films in cinema, and some of them are really fucking good because you don't miss a thing.
Yeah. Plus
I
the
bet
fact
those crowds are not your normal cinema crowd either. Everyone's having a good time and hooting and hollering.
Yeah.
Oh, they dub it over to better sounding crowds, don't they? Like they do with wrestling and stuff like that. They dub it for the TV
The
and
thing
stuff.
with it, because her stage show isn't just like her stood on stage singing. It's a whole theatrical
dancer.
like thing, isn't it? It's a production. There's shit going on for every song. So when you're doing it, showing it in the cinema, yeah, you'll have camera angles and drone shots.
That's what I'm
and-
saying. You won't miss a thing.
Yeah, it'll be really great to watch. But girls aren't that bothered because they're going next year anyway to the real thing. So
To the actual real
Mhm.
thing, yeah.
they were like, no,
Huh.
They said they'd wait.
Yeah, they don't want to spoil something that they're going to see in person, do they?
Yeah. See, so people didn't get that because on the Empire podcast, James Dyer was saying, I don't want to watch it because it's like spoiler. And they were like, what are you talking about? A spoiler? And well, because I don't want to see the stuff that she's going to do. I want to experience it.
You don't want to know the set list either.
Well, I know the set list.
He's researched it.
Yeah, because it's we've been listening to the set list, but
Girls,
I'm not
get
bothered about the
back.
set list.
If you go to the toilet now, we're going to skip He Was a Bad Boyfriend, and in 2 minutes' time, she's going to be singing Country Roads, Take Me Home, Part 2. I don't know what fucking song she sings.
No, you don't.
God.
No, it's more about what, like, the production and the stage and everything. I don't really want to be like, oh, I know this is coming next. I know this is coming next.
Yeah. Do you reckon in person there's going to be longer wait times between songs than if it's a production? Because I remember someone saying when they went to see Katy Perry years ago, she did all that set shit. And they were like sometimes 10 minutes between songs.
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything about that.
Yeah, I think you'd know by now.
Like,
the people have
this
been saying
tour
it.
gig is like 3 hours long.
I've heard the great big celebrity fest, all celebrities go to see her and stuff.
But I don't think this one will be 3 hours long because Paramore is opening for him. So they've got quite a big name opening for her.
They're big enough anyway.
And they're not going to just rush them on and off. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But I just think that's she's, in my opinion, she's the modern day like equivalent to Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, yeah. She's fucking big. She's not skint.
Yeah.
She is not skint.
Is she that? I really don't mean this in the wrong way. Is she really that talented though, compared to other female singers? Because I didn't realise she was that good. If you
it's
know
probably
what I mean.
a brand, mate.
Yeah.
I don't really know her, but it's probably the brand.
I know people.
And that's
that
what Michael Jackson was.
I know people that absolutely
brand.
adore her, and I don't see it myself, but there's obviously something.
Yeah, but you're goth nerds.
She's got a fantastic she's got a fantastic captive audience. She's got children, adults. She's a gay icon. She's a socialist. Middle-aged men. Middle-aged men. She's attractive. She's a perfect encapsulation of absolutely everything that pop music does well. And I'm not even a fan, but you can't deny that shit. And that's what Michael Jackson did. Until Michael Jackson went on to be Michael Jackson. But less said about that, the better.
Universal has got plans for a Martin Luther Jr. movie for Chris Rock to direct and Steven Spielberg to executive produce.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. I'm back into that. A big biopic.
Yeah.
Bang into that, especially with Spielberg involved.
How many?
Well, interesting. Chris Rock. I didn't know he directs. Does he?
He has directed things.
Yeah, moving into him, but there's not a lot of MLK films out, is there?
There isn't there? No, that's what I'm saying. A few Malcolm X ones, isn't there?
Yeah. I don't even know if there is one.
I'm banging to that, mate. I think it'd be good. That's a really tumultuous story and a crazy time in America's history.
Yep.
Absolutely brutal, man. That'll be
Title,
good.
I Had a Dream.
Yeah,
I genuinely don't
if Spielberg
think there is
does his. No, I don't think there is. If he does his, I know Martin Luther King Jr. has been in films, but it's not his films. You know what I mean? Someone's played him in films, but it's not been his film. But if Spielberg, because there's two Spielbergs in my head. There's Spielberg that just does stuff, and then there's Spielberg on his A game. And he does like a biopic, doesn't he? And an historical. So I think he'll be great.
He's only produced it, though. So.
Yeah, but you know, when he's a producer, he's probably not left that set.
Yeah, it's
probably
true.
there all the time.
I mean, who else would you want next to you, to be honest?
Exactly. I mean, Chris Rock, go for it. Yeah, bang into that. He's not going to cast Will Smith, though, is he?
Poor Will.
Poor Will!
I thought it was funny.
I was saying he would have been good. He would have been really good.
Selma is a Martin Luther King film, but it's not really about him.
It's his wife, isn't it? That one?
Yeah, so I'm guessing maybe they just, whoever had kind of like...
It's about time, basically.
The rights to so to speak, of his image and image rights have decided that, it's time to...
I'm up for it.
Yeah.
I'm bang up for it.
Because there's loads of documentaries and stuff, obviously, but...
I've read hundreds of books on Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah,
just pops into my head.
Martin Luther King Jr.
Tell you, might be a good choice to play him would be Jordan Peele.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I can see that.
I can see that. And he can do serious.
He can.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Heard it here first. Next up, Pinocchio star and Bond villain Christopher Waltz has joined Guillermo del Toro's up-and-coming...
Pinocchio.
Whatever. Up-and-coming Frankenstein adaptation.
Are there?
This is gonna be,
we mentioned it before, haven't we?
This is going to be ace.
Yeah, I reckon he's going to be Frankenstein, surely. Not the monster, as we know.
It's
the monster's called Adam.
Oodles' husband is the Dr. Frankenstein, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is it?
Garfield.
Andrew Garfield's
yeah.
Frankenstein. Oscar Isaac is the
He was like next to me
scientist.
last night telling me all about it. In bed. Telling me how he's excited to do it.
It's going to be mint, innit?
It's going to be insane, mate. It's
Andrew
going to be fucking
Garfield,
insane.
Mia Goth, Oscar Isaac, Christoph Waltz.
Let's meet up in Birmingham to big screen and we'll all go see it as a team. Let's fucking do this shit. Let's see some Frankenstein, baby. Oh, it's going to be good. I hope it's 3 hours long.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Yes, bring it on. Next.
That's it. So over to the Weird World Web, and I was hungover and completely forgot to put one in, but my usual source has come up top trumps. Mexican police arrested a Chucky doll and its owner for allegedly terrorizing members of the public. The suspect, referred to only as Carlos N., is reported to have used the life-size puppet to wield a large knife and demand money from frightened locals in Monclova, a city in the northern state of Coahuila. Carlos N. was apprehended in the main square of the city while allegedly under the influence and charged with disturbing public order and endangering the public on September the 11th. Bizarrely, the officers also undertook to formally arrest the doll itself, seemingly at the behest of local media. Police then followed through by taking both Carlos and the doll, whose character was popularised in Child's Play, to the local precincts where both the doll and its owner were handcuffed.
I'm just looking at pictures now. It's fucking hilarious. But also because of actually watching Child's Play and the TV show and everything, it feels real. Seeing them stood there with a handcuffed Chucky doll holding it up, it feels like, yeah, I know why they're doing that.
yeah, just in case. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but when you can buy the dolls now, kind of my best friend dolls and stuff, but you can buy the one that's all burnt and looks like Chucky, but you can buy the normal one, and I think the normal one looks scarier,
Way scarier.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking frightening. I'd rather have the fucked up one from Bride of Chucky. I'd rather have that, me. But yeah, I might get one. Just to sit at the back of me.
Yeah, that picture's hilarious.
Thank you, Metro News, for that.
Oh, you read that on Bus Home, mate?
Just now, literally, I just realised I forgot.
You are shocking. How dare you come at me? How dare the listeners come at me today in the Discord saying that I'm shoddy when you're doing last minute on the fly news crap?
But that is just incredible podcasting. That just makes me look twice
He thinks
as
he's a
good.
fucking gonzo journalist,
Breaking
doesn't
news,
he?
isn't it? Breaking news.
Yeah,
He thinks
exactly.
he's fucking Hunter S. Thompson over there. He's had a big bender and he's getting last minute news. Who do you think you are, boy? Who do you think you are?
I'm the lyrical podcaster.
I need to rein you in, mate. I need to rein you in. Right. I am very excited to, because I think it's been a busy media week this week. Very busy. I've been chock-a-block. I'll be sharing some of the stuff with you guys because I've seen some stuff that you guys have seen and blah, blah, blah. Let's start with Stig.
Two main things I have done this week. First one is the one I wanted to talk about last week, which I've now completed. I played Cocoon on Game Pass.
Is that about old people?
No. Kurt brought it up in his feedback last week. He's been playing it. We've both finished it this week. It's
I'm going to jump on this very quickly. I just finished Inside, which was made by them.
okay.
I finally did it. And I was like, yes, what an incredible game.
Just to let you know, Stig, Biggie's finished the 5-year-old game they made before this.
They didn't make it anyway. They didn't make this game.
Yes, they did, didn't they? I thought they made it.
Wasn't it one
Somebody said
developer
they
or something
did.
like that?
No. Right. So Cocoon is a 2023 puzzle game developed by Geometric Interactive. It's their first game published, and it's published by Annapurna Interactive. You take
Their first game, Biggie. Their first game.
Well, I must have read that wrong then, whoever said that.
No, I think one of the developers from Inside and Limbo
Ah,
are on this
there you
team.
go.
But it's not. Yeah, this is the company's
That's the link.
Geometric Interactive.
new company.
It's their first game. Yeah, so it's a kind of isometric puzzle game. Like absolutely stunning, like artwork and music and sound effects and everything in it. It's really, really good. And you control this beetle who can hop between these different worlds that you can carry around as an orb with you. So you get this. You jump into this world, you're presented with this orb, and you kind of put it on this platform, and then you can jump into that orb, which has a completely different like world and different, it all looks different. Biome, that's the word. And yes, and you spend the next 5 to 7 hours, depending on how long it takes, to solving puzzles to get out of this and put it all together.
I like the sound of it.
It's absolutely amazing. It's really inventive, intuitive, and it keeps you thinking. The puzzles aren't ridiculously difficult, but they're hard enough to kind of sit. You've got to sit there for a second and go, hang on, how is this working? And you have to do things in a certain way. You have to place the orbs in a certain way. You have to move objects around the world and to make sure that you can like unlock like the next gate to get through it. And there's a lot of some like hopping, taking orbs into orbs and making those orbs interact with each other in that orb. So when you jump out of the orb, I said orb so many times. Is it a real world word anymore? That when you jump out of that into the...
We've got a podcast title, by the way. It's just orbs.
To the world above, that it actually creates like this chain effect for it to unlock the next area. And
that sounds fucking mint.
It's so good. Like I say, have a look at some pictures of
I've
the actual
seen screenshots,
mate. How it looks.
I've seen it running. It looks great.
It's stunning. Like I say, the sound and the visual, the sound effects and everything are great. Like Kurt said in his review, you get given like little audio cues if you're right on the right track. Every now and again, you have to unlock this little light to take around with you. And
what's Kurt reviewing?
Yeah, and
did he review?
Yeah, it was in the last week's feedback.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah,
and
sorry. You have to kind of get this light from one place to another, which unlocks things. But there's gates that stop the light getting through. So then you have to figure out a way of, okay, how do I get from that end there to there? How do I get that light through this gate without it stopping it? Do you know what I mean? It's really good. It's been reviewing really well.
I'm looking for my Switch now because I'm going to go buy it.
Yeah, it's on everything. Switch, PlayStation, Windows. It's on Game Pass. If you've got Game Pass, you can play it on that.
Sake.
But yeah, it's Metacritic at the moment, 89 out of 100. I think that's fair.
Love that.
I'd give it a nice 9 out of 10. My only criticism was exactly what Kurt said in our Discord. There is no kind of narrative to it, so you don't. Whilst the game is great and
the gameplay
is great and intuitive and everything on that front, you kind of get to the end and you just don't have that kind of rush of or feeling of anything.
Closure.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, that was a really cool game. I really enjoyed that, which is fine in itself. But I think that one thing that would have pushed it to a 10 out of 10 is I think made you feel something at the end.
Yeah, modern game players. See what I said then? They expect that little bit extra. And like you said, a bit of context, a bit of story or something would have pushed it to a 10.
Yeah. But everything else is great. The atmosphere, the visuals, the sound, the puzzles.
I'm gonna
and
start
it is
playing
not
it tonight. Fuck it.
Like, I like some puzzle games, not all, but I like them when they're not too difficult. Which sounds a bit silly.
Like The Witness.
Like, I just don't want games that frustrate me. This made me think, but it didn't frustrate me, and I think that's the right kind of perfect spot for me for a puzzle game.
That's why I've never completed Myst.
Yeah.
I found it too hard.
I just don't want to be sat there going, what the fuck am I meant to be doing? I don't know what I'm doing here. This is stupid. I'm going to have to go to YouTube. And what's the point if I'm spending all my time going to YouTube looking for walkthroughs?
Yeah.
But I never...
When you could have watched a guy play
it. Yeah, exactly. I never felt like that on here once. Like, there's a couple of times where I sat there and I even messaged in our Discord going, I'm not sure what to do. And then about 5 minutes later, I was like, right, got it.
That's the purest, like I don't know, great review for a puzzler where you can just sit around and say, I just got it. Eventually just got it.
You're looking.
Sometimes you've got to take a step back, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Look back
Have
at
a
it.
cup of tea or sleep on it.
have a cup
There
of
was
tea.
one section
Yeah.
I was looking at it going, when I pick the orb up, there's like this thing grabbing it and dropping it somewhere. It's like, I can't re-pick it up and get to that point before it grabs the orb again. Like I was looking at it going, I just cannot figure this out. And then, and then I was like, oh, hang on. There's something else that I can, I can pull this along and drag it here and do this. And then, now I
That's
can
what
do
I
it.
call a perfect puzzle mechanic.
It's
Have you
really, really good.
Have you ever had it? And sorry, this is dragging it on a bit, but you've gone to bed stuck on a puzzle, fallen asleep, and you've woken up and been like, I know what
And
to do.
you've solved it in your head. I did that on Portal 2. I did exactly that thing on Portal 2. I was like, 4 morning. Fucking come on.
I think this is like kind of akin to Portal, is that Portal was never really that difficult, was it? It was fun. And it got
you just overthought things.
It got you thinking, but you never sat there just being like, I just don't know what it's asking me to do. Like, this never does that.
Exactly.
So, yeah, excellent. Everyone should play that, especially if you've got Game Pass. And then the other...
It's cheap if you haven't got Game Pass anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's only 15 quid.
Yeah. Other thing I did was I watched a new film out on Amazon Prime called Totally Killer. This stars...
Totally killer, man.
Kiernan Shipka, who, if you've seen Sabrina...
Nailed it.
On Netflix. She's the Sabrina, she's the teenage witch, but like in Netflix's kind of spooky horror.
The blonde one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
handsome. She's an handsome little devil, isn't
yeah,
she?
this basically is the story of what is her character's name? I've got Jamie. And 35 years after some killings happened in her town, the Sweet 16 killer who killed like 3 of her mum's friends when they were younger, he comes back. And she ends up going back in time to 35 years ago into the 80s to try and stop those killings happen.
What?
Yeah. It's a very...
Stag, let me wrap my head around this. So, a killer happened in the past
In the 80s,
of this town, and then the modern day girl, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, goes back in time somehow.
Yeah.
And tries to warn people of the killer.
Basically, yeah.
That sounds fucking amazing.
It's akin to that kind of Happy Death Day style horrors. That kind of horror comedy.
It sounds like an 80s film.
Yes. Well, she ends up going back in time and kind of trying to stop these killings, who are obviously all of her teenage mum's friends. So she bumps into her mum, she bumps into her dad, and all that kind of funny hilarity ensues.
That sounds fucking mint.
But what's really funny about this is because it's set back in the 80s and she's a teenager from now, all those like things that used to get away with in the 80s, she's like, she's kind of like, quote unquote, I'd hate to use this word, but a woke teenager. Teenagers in the 80s weren't like that. So there's a lot of sexual references. There's all this.
They like to say the F word a lot, didn't
smoking, and they don't actually say that, which is nice to see. But there's a lot. There's like one of the guys is just like, he'll crack a joke. He'll be like, "Oh, I've got your thing right here," and just like grabs his dick. Do you know what I mean? Like, and
yeah, because there's no.
Yeah, one of the jokes is all like, "Oh, well, I'm this girl, she was drunk driving, and she and this happened," and he goes, "And it's because she's a chick, and chicks can't drive." And she's like, maybe it's because she was drunk. And one of them goes, that's totally something a chick would say. And then they just walk off. You know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of like the sexism.
Because that's exactly what it was like.
The sexism and everything is kind of there. And it's all these kind of jokes on about how like shit 80s weed and stuff is and how and everything. And it's
it's not strong enough.
Yeah, it's really funny in that way that it kind of brings all that stuff up, and she just kind of has to deal with it.
So it's a dark comedy then, isn't it?
While also having to try and find out who this killer is and stop these killings happen without.
Tell me it's good.
Fucking the future up.
Is it good?
I enjoyed it. It's a perfectly good 3 out of 5 film.
Fantastic. I'll watch that. I just like the premise.
It's fun. You watch the trailer and you'll get like the flavour of what it's about. But yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. It was a good time.
A good time was had by all.
Yes. And then finally, I am on 100 Things We Learned from Films this week. So check out their latest episode.
You are.
We have done
what you reviewing?
Was it?
Last Action Hero.
Oh, cool.
Slater.
Yeah.
Love that film. That film was a fucking bomb, but I think it's a great film. I think it's a great film.
I've not heard of that podcast. Who does it?
Mr. Podcast.
Mr. Podcast Worldwide.
And his podcast husband.
Oh, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, John. Yeah.
I will say there is a little bit of nostalgic eyes when you think about that film.
Really?
Yeah,
I hadn't seen it in
exactly.
years.
It's fun, but it could have.
It's shit
No,
now,
it's
innit?
fun.
I liked it when he was Big Macbeth and he's like,
Yeah.
to be or not to be.
Not to be. It's
Not
still
to be.
fun. It just could have been cleverer. They could have done a little bit more with it, I think.
You mean the ruin the premise that they didn't achieve them high?
Yeah.
It was a flop when it was released, though, wasn't it?
It flopped big style.
Yeah, I think it was going against Jurassic Park, though. So that probably didn't help.
Everything flopped.
Yeah. Can see that happening.
And it was his film after Terminator 2. How'd you top that?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. So
But he did do True Lies after, and True Lies is great.
check that out because, well, it's a fun podcast anyway,
We
but
will.
because I was on it.
And it's a great podcast. Another podcast that only expects £1 from you. We're so generous as podcasters, aren't we? So fucking generous. Excellent. I'll go next. I've only got this one thing because I'm going to jump in on, I think, Candies. I watched the whole 4 episodes of the David Beckham documentary on Netflix. I mean, I'm a Leeds fan, so we've got to take that with a pinch of salt, right? I'm not here about that Manchester United fucking glory, Man United shite. However, I've always respected David Beckham as a international footballer. Can't deny that, can you? It's some good runs with England. But
Apart from that one game.
apart from that one game, which gets documented quite well. And I did not think this would be a warts and all documentary about David Beckham. There's a lot of stuff I learned about him. And the fact that they literally sat and talked about his affair. Remember that?
Alleged affair, though, wasn't it?
Alleged, yeah, absolutely alleged. He's always denied it. But do you know what I really got from this doc? I mean, it's a typical biopic documentary. We all know David Beckham. We all know who he is. He was, at one point, the most famous man on the planet. And he was married to a fucking Spice Girl. Do you don't get bigger than that back then, do you? There's nothing bigger than that. They were huge. Remember when they were mulching around with fucking Tom Cruise and stuff? And just, oh, God. But I did not expect how down-to-earth that man is. I don't know if it's really good documentarian making him look like that. He just seems so... Clearly a man with OCD as well. He's obsessed with cleaning his house and his little man cave in his garden.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
Stig, it's you, mate. This guy's you.
Not handsome, though.
Covered in tattoos, always cleaning. He's got better hair than you, though, mate.
Fucking right, he
that
does.
hairline that he's got.
No, he's always had good hair. That's why.
Fucking hell. 50-year-old, he's got hairline of a fucking god. He's an handsome brute as
So would
well.
I if I had his money.
But, yeah, that's true. It might not be his hairline, might it? Might be from Turkey. But it's just a really good documentary. A lot of people with these football documentaries and these footballer documentaries say there's not enough football in it. This has got quite a lot of football in it. So if you don't like football, it's kind of probably not the one to watch because he does explain game. He gets like his best mate Gary Neville and stuff like that to watch famous games that they've gone through. And if you don't like football, what's the fucking point in watching this documentary? If you want to see Victoria Beckham's wardrobe, this is not the documentary for you. You know what I mean? She's not in it that much. It's just a really good... I honestly, I've said this before, but I think the late 90s, mid-2000s were my favourite era of football. And it just reminded me of it all. And I'm a Leeds fan. We were shocking then. We got fucking basically the same place we're in now.
We're shocking now.
You went further down, didn't you?
Yeah, that's true. I still think I used to love them international tournaments. We had some great international tournaments as well, and they were the infamous when he tripped Thingy up. Was it 97, 98? Something like that.
I was
And
Possibly not yet.
98.
he became a bad boy then. He got told off. He got red carded, shaved his hair off, and came out as a bad boy. And it was just I don't know. It's just a good documentary. If you're into it at all, I definitely suggest you watch it. But if you want to know about David Beckham's kids and his home life and so, it's not really that kind of thing. It's a very football documentary.
That's good. I'd rather watch that than about the family.
Yeah,
But I've seen a clip of him. It made me laugh where Victoria sat there just going, "Oh, we just come from like working class background." He's like, "Tell everyone what car your dad drove," and she's like, "Well, it doesn't matter." She's like, "No," she's like, it doesn't really matter." He's just like going, "Tell him what car." And he's just poking his head through the door, going, "Yeah." She went, "Sometimes they pick me up in the Rolls Royce." He was like, "Thank you," and just walks out.
Yeah, because he were a poor lad. He were from proper working class roots, and she was posh.
It's like we were working class. Like, you were called Posh Spice for a reason.
I've got a lot of respect for him. He seems like a good bloke or an incredible actor. I don't think anyone's ever really had anything proper bad to say about him. No one said David Beckham's a knob, innit?
Yeah,
he's not one of them people that you would.
There's a little bit regarding him and his kind of chilling for the Guitar World Cup. I would say that's
that wasn't a good thing. That wasn't a good thing. Yeah. Maybe his politics are a bit off.
From my point of view, like knowing
and he's
nothing
friends with
about
James Corden.
Oh yeah, that's a strike against
him.
Oh
Jesus Christ, cancel him.
But from my point of view, knowing nothing really about football, it's just he seems like one of those superstar that only comes around once every generation, like Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, David Beckham, like Tony Hawk.
I genuinely think, and people won't agree with me, like Lionel Messi is the best footballer that's ever existed, but David Beckham was still bigger than him.
He's the household name, isn't he, David Beckham?
He's superstar.
Yeah.
Transcended football. Yeah. There was more to him.
He wasn't
making
making much money on football at one point. He was making more money in underpants.
Yeah, he worked on his brand, didn't he? It was the Beckham brand.
Well, it's very
fucking. But you're right,
very
Candy.
attractive man, though, isn't he? What do you expect?
That can't hurt. That can't hurt at all. I mean,
he's got an annoying voice, though, from what I remember.
He doesn't sound that bad anymore to me, to my ears. In my head, I thought he had a right squeaky voice, but he's got older now. It's not as squeaky.
Taken up smoking since he stopped playing football.
And I always forgot as well because he went to Real Madrid and stuff. He's fluent in Spanish. That man. You won't think that, would you? You won't think that, but there he is. But yeah, it's got. I recommend it. But Candy, you and I watched something. We like the boys on this show, don't we?
We love the boys.
We love the boys. Have you watched every episode yet so far?
Every episode.
Well, girl. You take the lead. What's this called? What's this called, Candy?
This would be called Gen V, and it's a spin-off from the Boys, the very popular Boys Amazon show and comic book, and it was based on a story arc of the boys in the comics. This is set in the University of Godolphin for Soups.
Yeah.
Which is a university.
It's Hogwarts for superheroes.
Hogwarts for superheroes, and the basically it's kind of like almost like a sort of constant battle within the university to be ranked in the top 10 of soups, and no freshmen.
Do you remember, Stig, that Black Mirror episode where they were all about ranking? The social stats. That's this, isn't it, Candy?
Oh yeah. So yeah, they're all kind of fighting for a place in the top 10. No freshman thus far has been in the top 10. Enter our main characteress, a young girl who she's got a fairly interesting power that she learned.
Fucking disgusting.
That she learned when it came to puberty. She can manipulate blood. And
when do you think she found this out?
Yeah, as you can imagine. Didn't go so well at that time in her life.
Didn't go so well, did it?
So she's come.
Just very quickly, is this along the same kind of humour as the boys?
Exactly.
Very much so, if
different?
not more.
Oh, they've gone because the trailer didn't sell that to me at all.
No, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. This actual storyline is one of the runs from the boys' comic. It wasn't a spin-off in the book.
Oh, okay.
This is just a run. This is set after the last season. Which I didn't realise at first. And I'm like, oh, shit.
It's directly after the last season, isn't it? So this is filling the void where... So normally the boys would come out at this time of year. And now the boys has been put back to 2024. And we've got Gen V in its place. So yeah, with that in mind, that they're sort of competing for a top 10. The main guy, the number one, the guy who was all set to enter the 7 without even a drafting. So they've brought into law that obviously becoming a member of the 7 involves a draft and probably involves a public vote and everything. This main guy, who also is played by Patrick Schwarzenegger, I should add, who I didn't realise until whilst I was researching.
He's an handsome bugger and all, isn't he?
Oh, isn't he just? Yeah.
Ain't he just?
He goes on he has a bit of a mentee bee and goes on a rampage before turning the rampage on himself. And from there on, it becomes kind of a whodunit, which is where we're at now.
Yeah.
We've got five main characters, 5 main group of friends that are trying to figure out what's happened.
I think the powers in this are more interesting than the main powers.
They're less obvious, aren't they? So we've got
Yes.
one character that can manipulate blood, cricket who shrinks or grows.
Rides cock.
Oh.
The cock riding scene.
Oh god, yeah, yeah. Again, very much like the same humour.
Oh yeah, it's disgusting. It's fucking. Oh, by the way, guys, Tech Night's in this, so get ready. Gadget, get fucking ready. He is
Gadget,
a
that's
disgusting
Biggie.
man.
Biggie.
Oh God, fuck's sake, Biggie. You do look like Gadget a bit.
Yeah, there are some shockingly, grossly hilarious moments. Cricket, who is the girl that can either shrink or become huge depending on what she eats.
She's my
She
favourite.
is so good. She's such an amazing, she's just compelling to watch as an actor. She's brilliant.
But also, have you noticed that every power is linked to some kind of mental health?
I didn't notice that, but
Sure.
now you've pointed it out, yes.
Every single one is a mental health issue. And they're at university when, I'm an adult.
Hormones
You know what I
flying
mean?
wild.
Yeah, and every single power is linked to some kind of mental health. And I really, really appreciate the non-binary character, and the powers are non-binary as well. And they are extremely powerful, and they're not hindered at all by their non-binary aspect, because they don't identify as non-binary. They are non-binary. That's what their power is. And I think it's really clever, and it's really empathetic about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just, again, young women especially. It's really empowering women in this one, which I didn't expect. But it's not pandering, because the women are dickheads still.
Exactly.
They're all dickheads. Because it's the boys.
Which is empowering more so because, women can be dickheads too. But I absolutely love this. I wasn't expecting to like it quite as much as I did. In fact, I almost kind of went into it thinking, well, it's not the boys. It's not got the characters we love in it. I'm not going to be into this. I think
it's just the next season of the boys.
It feels like it because there's some references made to the boys, and there's
you still see Homelander in background. And stuff.
There's some very brief cameos and everything, but it kind of puts it into context in terms of where on the timeline that it's sitting, more or less.
Yeah.
It's the boys season that we've got in the interim, and I fucking adore it.
I think it's fucking brilliant. I genuinely think it's brilliant, and it's so. I think. The showrunners have said you need to watch this to watch the next season as well, because it's linked.
I was gonna speculate
Characters
on whether there's going to be
basically.
some crossover, and I hope, I hope it's cricket. But I mean, surely they'll take some of the audience feedback, because I think from what I've been hearing, cricket's she's far and away the most popular character. She's definitely ranked in the top 10, I think, for most people.
And she knows how to ride a cock.
Apparently so.
Quite literally. Biggie's like, I'm watching that tonight. It's great though, and again, the kids in it, even though they're all adults, they don't look too adult. They're not too far. You know, when you watch these things, and you're like, fucking hell.
They totally kill her. They're meant to play 16-year-olds. They're all at least 25.
When I used to watch Saved by the Bell, I'm like, hang on. You look 30, AC Slater. You look like you're a 30-year-old man. I'm 15, Zach. I'm 15. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yeah, but have you seen The
And
Rock?
don't do
How
that.
old was Ralph Macchio in The Karate Kid? Wasn't he like 30 or
30.
something ridiculous like that?
Yeah, but you look like a kid.
Yeah, he still
He
does.
did.
But yeah, like Candy said, it's just, It's just great. If you love The Boys, what are you hesitating for? There's 5 episodes out already. Just go. Watch them.
Watch it now.
Watch it now.
Do it now.
I just
And
do it now.
And before we do move on, I finished the story of Starfield this afternoon. Banger. It's a banger.
Ooh.
It's without being spoilery. It's got a bit
Average.
the ending's a bit of a thinker, bit philosophical.
Bit of a thunker.
But some of the final quests are really, really fun.
But what about, Candy, when Bethesda promised us all that once you've beat the game, the real game starts?
Well, it's true because I've barely scratched the surface.
Oh my days.
Yeah.
I'm about 30 hours.
I'll get
into
onto
that,
it at
you know.
some point. I can't jump into a massive game like that while I'm still in the middle of another one.
There's no
Can't
need
do
to.
it.
You'll be playing it for ages.
I don't play it in long stretches, me. Do you know what does my head in, Candy? Just everything's a loading screen, man.
Oh, I haven't found that. I found a loading screen at the beginning. I mean, I guess they
I reckon
just...
it's because I'm streaming it. I'm streaming it. Maybe it's something to do with that.
It could be, but I mean, they could be disguising the loading screens and, when...
But I'm playing Cyberpunk simultaneously, and that's like night and day. That is a modern Bethesda style game in my head.
But I mean,
That's what it is. I think you'll love Starfield, and I'm really enjoying it. But I think when you play Cyberpunk, Fanny Lips, that's gonna be like,
I might start it soon, as soon as I can afford it, because I've got it on PS5, but I want to play it on my PC.
Yeah,
man.
How long is it taking you to do the main story then?
Well, I think if you were just going to mainline it would probably take about 20 hours, maybe a little bit more.
Everyone's saying
maybe a
that,
little
20
bit,
hours.
maybe 20 to 25.
I've not found myself mainlining this either. I'm kind of enjoying just bombing around.
That's a
doing shit.
Bethesda game, though, isn't it? Just do what you want.
I still think the NPCs are fucking shit.
Oh, they're ugly. They're so ugly.
They're awful.
Yeah.
I try not to talk to them because I'm like, the main characters they're great and they're well written and stuff like that, the main people. But the fucking NPCs, man, their heads go everywhere.
I really enjoy when you go to interact with them and then they just turn away from you.
Yeah, what are you doing?
And then they kind of
And
look
their eyes
around for a
stay
bit.
looking at you though.
Yeah, I always like seeing the clips of like people. You'll talk to someone, and then there's another NPC that'll just look around at you with like scary eyes, just like behind them for no reason.
I got a really, really...
This has to be the last game they use this engine on. It has to be.
I got a really good clip earlier of I was in the middle of a gun battle, and I was in first person view, and I was like zooming in, and then suddenly my companion just goes, "Hello," right into my crosshairs. Get out of the way!
It is a good game though. I don't know why people are proper ragging on it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's just not next gen.
It's because what we talked about earlier. Everyone seems to think
That's
that
it.
everything has to be
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
yeah.
It's absolutely competent.
And like it was some of the developers came out and said not every game, even AAA games, not everything could be as polished as something like Baldur's Gate. That's not the standard. That's above the standard. Like you can't.
I mean, Baldur's Gate's been out for 3 years, hasn't it? Technically, because they've been doing
It's like
early
we
access
want
and
games to
stuff.
be like that, but if you want games to be like that, it's going to take forever for them to come out.
Years. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Absolutely, man. It's well worth playing though. I'm
going to play it.
The story does intrigue me.
I just can't.
More intriguing than Skyrim.
I can't put myself onto that game before I finish Baldur's Gate 3.
Not yet.
I'm playing small
You're taking a long
indie
time
games
on that,
between my
you.
Baldur's Gate session to try and stop me from.
You must be on fucking 500 hours on Baldur's Gate at this point.
Steam says like 60, but that's not true because there's been a few times where I just walked away from the PC and left it running for a bit. So
Yeah. It puts knock 10 hours off.
I should be further ahead, really. Yeah, Starfield. I'm
Yeah, but
looking
you
forward
like
to playing
it.
it. I just don't know when I'm going to get onto it.
By the time you play it as well, Stig, there's probably be a nice chunky patch on it, something like that. Anyway, because it's not. I've not had any glitches, mate. No game breaking glitches.
I think
Not one.
it gets a little bit worse towards the end. Like some of the final, I've struggled more with some of the final quests, but not. I mean, nothing super major really. But yeah, I did get some funny ones that I took clips of earlier.
But you like that? That's your feature.
Yeah, I
innit?
love it. It wouldn't be a Bethesda game
Yeah,
without
I'm
it.
into that. Exactly. Excellent. Biggie, actually, not Gadget. Biggie.
I've got a few things I want to cover. But the first one I want to talk about is the reason why I'm hungover. So, a friend of ours that we play Battlefield and COD with for nearly 2 years now happened to be in a conference in London. So we spoke to him about coming down to come and see us. So he popped down to the South Coast and we met up over the weekend.
Even from London.
Well, no, he's from Halifax, so it was even longer for him. So, but yeah, we had a really good weekend. But of course, you would assume that we get loads of tellies into a room, set up our PS5s and play COD all weekend. But no, instead we played couch co-op games and we played Overcooked 2. We played Tricky Towers, something else we played. But the one that we did thoroughly enjoy, and I have to give a shout out to Super Natty Cat for this one, because she reviewed it on Smash That Glass. And this is Nippon Marathon.
She reviewed it on our show.
What a batshit crazy game.
It was on here,
that is. I was on here. I thought it was on Smash That Glass. We talked about it.
I mean, we do own that podcast as well. So
I'm sure she did.
She wanted to get the was it the developer was going to be on Smash That Glass? But
I think
that was the plan, wasn't it?
Work out right.
You were nearly there, weren't you? You'd even planned, and she thought, I can't go on a big show like that.
I think that's how it went down. Yeah.
She doesn't.
But just in case you're not aware of the game, it's a crazy physics-driven 4-player marathon across Japan, combining classic races like Micro Machines and the Sanity of TV's Takeshi Castle. You smash through offices and shopping malls and hurl fruit at your opponents in a party game, unlike anything you have played before. It's batshit mental. I think, like Super Natty Cat mentioned, it's just got mad audio. The graphics are mental, very Japanesey. It's just a lot of fun, and it's not. It doesn't look polished, and I don't know if that was the intention or the fact that it doesn't matter.
Deliberate.
Because it's such.
You can tell
It is such fun, and
it looks like
party games
shareware,
as well.
but it's deliberate.
Yeah, but the party games as well. We played. There's one that's like an assault course with all these weird things like boxing gloves popping out of the wall and trying to get to the end game and trying to get the biggest score. And one of the really funny ones is the shopping trolley bowling, where you basically get your character from third-person view. You have to set your trolley up and then take a massive run up and then jump into the trolley and smash through massive 10-pin bowling. And yeah, it was just such a giggle. We played it for hours till about 4 a.m, just chuckling away. It was great fun. So yeah, highly recommend that.
And you were doing that sober, I'm assuming?
No, absolutely not. And I love this review on Steam.
Was it some Jack and Danny, I'll tickle your fanny all night?
No, it was great. And this review on Steam says, silly, incoherent, nonsensical, 11 out of 10. And I think that's pretty much
our
sums it up.
The great score. Absolutely. Incoherent mess.
But the other things I wanted to talk about was inspired by everyone talking about books last week. So I ended up getting back into some graphic novels. So I just want to mention a few that I picked up. I don't want to get spoilery too much, but there's a few I want to recommend. First one is Baby Teeth.
Oh, yes.
Which is the writer-creator Donny Cates, artist-creator and covers Gary Brown. The story offers a unique take on the final battle between good and evil that push concepts about God, Satan, and the Antichrist into dramatic new territory. And it's based on the idea of a 16-year-old Sadie giving birth to the Antichrist in modern times. And then it's about her dealing with that and her family supporting her and then actually meeting a chaotic bunch of characters. And it's a really good storyline. There's time jumps. Really thoroughly well done.
I pretty
much just binged it. It was great. Nice, short, sweet. There may be further tales, but it's a nice, complete story at the moment. So I really enjoyed that. Then went on to Autumnal. Following the death of her estranged mother, character Kat Somerville and her daughter Sybil flee a difficult life in Chicago for the quaint and possibly deadly town of Comfort Notch in New Hampshire. It's from New York Times bestselling author Daniel Krauss, who did The Shape of Water, Troll Hunters, and The Living Dead.
Troll Hunters.
It's very much like The Wicker Man, bit of Midsummer, kind of all that kind of idea of a cult in a town.
Paganism and stuff like that.
Pagan, yeah, it's really dark. It's really interesting story. Really like that.
I've never heard of that one.
Finally, my favourite one out the lot is The Nice House on the Lake.
Yeah,
this is a comic book series written by James Tinian IV and illustrated by Alvaro Martinez Bueno. And this story revolves around a group of people who are invited to a beautiful house in the woods overlooking a lake by their friend Walter, who the group have all known throughout their life from either at college, going into early high school or wherever, university. And after they've all had a difficult year, they all accept the invitation to spend a week there. However, things take a very dark turn as they realise that Walter's intentions are not what they seem. And he turns out to be a shape-shifting alien. And basically, this, I can ruin this bit because it's basically revealed in the very first part of the story.
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah, it's not really a spoiler.
Basically, pretty much Earth is annihilated in this apocalyptic outside of this house. They find out via social media and their phones that while they're at the house, literally all their families, everybody around the world is completely annihilated. And Walter, for some reason, has just picked this bunch of friends to stay at this house, and everything that they want is available to them.
Yeah.
And it goes places, man. It's dark, it's weird, it's enthralling. And what I like about all three of the ones that I mentioned is that it's the kind of quality and direction in the graphic novels that you have with TV shows. And it's just, there's cliffhangers, it's unputdownable, there's really good direction, there's pre-stories, there's just everything, there's character arcs, it's just everything you want out of a show, but in graphic novel form. And I've been just in my downtime reading through all of these, and they are awesome. And I've got so many more to read as well, but they were my picks. They're awesome. If you like graphic novels and want really thought-provoking stories, go for it.
Yeah, man. Excellent. Who's going to do the feedback? Sorry, Stig, this is a podcast. Are you going to say
me? Well, it is me, isn't it? Because everyone else is, Biggie's got the news and Candy's gearing herself up to take us into a deranged mind for it.
Oh, God. Go on then, mate. Have we got any? I'm sure we have.
Those eyebrows just going, yep. Right, yeah.
The HD brows.
First up, we have Dean, that Efkin guy. He's been watching True Detective Season 1 after we finished Boardwalk Empire at the weekend. Loved it. He's talking means Boardwalk Empire there. Even the final season, which seems to annoy people. Richard Harrow is possibly one of my favourite fictional characters ever now.
Oh,
yeah, Richard Harrow is fucking mint.
Brilliant.
I've not seen that show.
So good. Biggie, you'd love it.
It's all about it's built for you.
It's such a Biggie show.
It's just one of those things I didn't get around to.
Literally should be called Biggie's Empire.
Well, there you go. That's your next TV show to watch.
Cool.
And he says, check out what I've got lined up after we finish the show. And this picture of Columbo, old school Columbo.
And another thing. Oh, I love Columbo so much. I used to watch it. You know, when I used to wag school, come home and watch a bit of Columbo on Channel 2. Don't skip school, kids.
Unless you're going to watch Columbo. Next up, we have Mike said, this week I have mainly been shiny hunting Pokemon. Took my son axe throwing in Halifax on Saturday, which was really fun. I beat him with axes, but he crushed me when we moved on to the Batarangs. Nice.
Oh.
Hopefully it means score, not actually literally.
Yeah, you never know with Mike. What does it mean, shiny hunting?
I don't know. Just that's what it just says. Looking for shiny Pokemons, I think. In Pokemon Go, I presume.
Oh shit, yeah, of course it is, yeah. That's cool. Gets you outside that game.
Unless he's just been buying a shitload of Pokemon card packs and been looking for them for shinies.
Yeah, just going into Rhythm and Booze and buying all packs. Cool.
Xenos, he says, because I said, which Oodles said last week, if you've got any feedback on what you've been up to, but also from last week's show or anything else we do, then, just...
yeah, definitely.
Don't just have to be about what you've been up to.
Shine.
He said, as far as Scott Sheep, really enjoyed the first Filth Water episode. Very much looking forward to hearing the next one. I think I've got an idea of what's going on, but I'm prepared to be proven wrong. You probably will be, because with us, what you think is going to happen never happens.
You chose the wrong path.
Yeah. I will say only that I think Gadget made a mistake asking the zombie if Clint did something. Okay. And if you want to know what he's talking about,
yeah.
Scott Sheep, we are currently on a mid-season break, and we've done our one shot, which
Well, we're the only people that know how it ends.
which
as well.
Oodles
Oh,
the end.
and doesn't it end?
It does end.
Outside of that,
Definitely
I
does.
have not been playing Baldur's Gate this week.
You still haven't finished it? Come on, lad.
No, never have I. Warhammer 40k Darktide just dropped a massive update overhauling all its classes with much more customization than it ever had before. So my friends and I have been playing that. It's a huge improvement over the classes at launch, and the sheer versatility
Don't know
you
what that
get
game
now
is.
is fantastic. Along with all the options for armor regen, ability, and damage bonuses, every class now has 3 options for their Blitz grenade ability, their class action, and their passive aura.
Does any of us here know what he's talking about?
And I don't know what type of game Darktide is. I think it's
I don't.
if I could be wrong, but I think it's one of those 3-player co-op like shooters.
Huh.
Yeah, I think it's an action RPG. Isn't
I thought Warhammer was fucking fantasy.
Yeah. Like
Huh.
deep space fantasy in it, like sci-fi.
Oh yeah, there's that one in there
Deep
with all
Space
the
Religion.
big shoulders and stuff, aren't there? They're all big shoulder pads on.
Darktide is
Oh.
a
Where's Gadget
shooter,
when you need
role-playing
him?
shooter.
Oh.
Anyway, he also
Gadget
says,
sat here screaming at the edit, screaming.
I personally play a. Oh, he says I personally play a psyker because, of course, I'm a fucking wizard, and I can now replace many enemies' heads. Sorry, I can now make enemies' heads explode with Emperor Palpatine style sparkly jazz hands, or with a swarm of seeking projectiles that are basically psychic versions of Yondu's arrow from Guardians of the Galaxy. I can also turn my force push, which lets me dump the how close is your head to exploding meter into the void to get rid of it, into a massive telekinesis barrier, or a trace state of, which makes me into a terrifying warp-powered sniper up until the head explosion meter caps out and it ends. My head explodes. Ends or my head explodes. Jesus. A lot of talk of head exploding there.
And he picks up on me. He picks up on me in the news.
I prefer keeping my head
It's,
intact, though. Yeah.
It's Xenos. He does the detail in his prose when he writes into us. I love it, but I've never had to read one of his things out. Bless him. I think it's. I'm pretty sure Gadget has mentioned this game though. It's just Darktide. The name not the 40k hammers, however it got. The Darktide bit. I feel like I remember it. Gadget, in the edit, if you want, you can say, "Yeah, I remember it." That'll be perfect.
Last up is Kurt Lewin, best boy. He says, "Hi, ME crew. This week I finished Cocoon, but I won't go into it because I'm sure Stig will cover this week." You are correct.
He did. How did he know?
Needless to say that you should all play it though because it's fantastic. Also this week came the release of Forza Motorsport, which I got early because I paid for the early access. I wouldn't normally do this, but I had £45 of credit on my Xbox account from all the rewards points I've accumulated, but I had to use them by Tuesday last week. So on to Forza Motorsport. The driving model is very good and it looks fantastic, but I've already got a refund on it. Reasons being that it had a huge grind. The way it works is that for every race you do, you get car points, which you use to upgrade your car. The problem is that any points you earn can only be applied to that car alone, similar to how XP works in Pokemon. Someone estimated that to fully upgrade one car could take 5 to 6 hours. Considering how many cars are in this game, that's a lot of driving. Also, every single race has a practice session. You don't have to do this, but it's encouraged so that you can earn more car points. If you don't do it, then it will take even longer to upgrade your car. If you don't know what a practice session is, it's 3 laps of just driving, not even racing. In real life, this makes sense, and maybe the first time in the game as you get used to the track, but every single time, no. After my 8th practice session, I began to doubt this game was for me. So I somehow got a refund. I may come back to it if they patch and improve things, but otherwise it's unlikely.
It sounds like they've created a game for me there.
It sounds terrible. I genuinely think
I like the idea
awful.
of having to level up every single one of my cars in my garage. I
do not like these kind of car games. Give me a Horizon where you're just bombing around and doing silly shit. Much more fun.
You would not like
No.
Gran Turismo, mate.
Looks pretty, but
Ooh, I
boring.
fucking loved it.
Anyway, he also says, with my refund, I went and purchased the Crew Motorsport, which I shouldn't have done. Sorry, which I should have done a couple of weeks ago when it came out, because it's an incredible racing game from my early impressions. It's an open world racer akin to Forza Horizon, set in a beautiful Hawaiian island. There is a huge barriers of events, and the cars feel great to drive. More arcadey, but it fits the style of game it is. Better soundtrack than Forza Horizon 2. A big difference from Forza Horizon is that this also includes motorcycles, planes, and speedboats. But I've not got used to any of these yet. I've not got to use any of these yet. I've got a huge smile on my face as I race around, jumping off cliffs and sustaining no damage to my suspension. It's great and reminds me of the silly challenges you get on Top Gear. Highly recommend, especially for those without an Xbox to play Horizon. That sounds way more up my street. So much more fun.
Yeah, I like the look of that.
I'm more into Forza Horizon.
reviews.
Forza Sport Motorsport. I like the idea of that one, me.
It just sounds so dull. Look,
I'm a dull guy,
racing
mate.
round
I'm a dull
normal, grey, boring race tracks.
Mate, I watched a lad play an hour of Garbage Man Simulator earlier. Fantastic looking game.
I'd prefer to play that than
Fantastic
Motorsport.
They were interesting. Oh,
Yeah, for me, just arcade games, they're fun. The ones you can just jump.
it's because you're fucking
No, 'cause
Danny
you can just-
Default, aren't you? You're just Danny Default.
No, I'm not Danny Default. I just prefer games that are fun and not boring driving around.
Fun? How dare you want fun from your games? You need to be challenged. Nah, I'd play them both. I liked the Crew 2. I like that. I like that a lot. It's good. I hated the fucking music on it, though. It's all that fucking, yeah, it's time to race in America. Fuck off.
That's it for feedback.
Excellent. As always, links to all our extracurricular activities are in our show notes and at modernescapism.co.uk. If you are not, I mean, it's come out now, hasn't it? No, it's not. It'll be out.
It is out.
Yeah, they've listened to Kenny Potter. Did you hear me say it about 5 times last week, Stig?
Good selling. Good
Yeah,
selling.
that's what you want, innit? Good selling.
Want everyone to know
absolute
because it's a
shit out of
fucking
it.
great series.
Yes. And if you've got feedback on that, because we get feedback on Scott Sheep on this show, let us know about that as well. You might get some other people thinking, I want in on that Kenny Potter shit. I want in on it. Don't be left alone. Don't be the guy in the playground like sad because you're not into it. Oh, I'm sad. Get into it. Get fucking into it. Be cool. Be cool. But yes, if you are a patron, we will carry on this shite in the green room. I'm sure we've got questions as well. I'm sure we have. Fucking get on at me again. But before we leave the scruffs that won't pay us a quid, Candy, what's going on in that fucking brain of yours?
And now, what's up in Candyland?
Well, I made a purchase this week, and to be honest, it was just slightly out of my budget. And I'm here to talk about it in poetry form.
Yeah.
So this is called.
Like a bit of poetry.
This is called VIP for the D. Are you ready? Right,
Nice.
settle in.
Yep.
In the realm of cyberspace, I did embark to secure a ticket to witness pure rock. Tenacious D, the kings of the scene. Tickets were released. Their concert was the dream. With eager anticipation, I navigated the web, with hope in my heart and excitement widespread. But to my dismay, a cruel twist in this tale. Only VIP tickets, with a hefty price, did prevail. Oh, the agony! My heart sank. A gasp I let out. How could this be? How had my luck run out? I yearned for a ticket, any seat would do, but alas, it seemed my options were few. Snapped up in a flash were the standard seats. Only the extravagant VIP could take the seat. But for I, a humble fan, the cost was too steep to bear. Left to ponder, where did I go wrong? Where? The VIP package, a treasure beyond price. Would my bank account survive such a sacrifice? But then, with the music of the D echoed in my mind, I felt a spark, an unwavering resolve I did find. So with trembling fingers and a lump in my throat, I clicked that VIP button, not knowing what I wrote. The transaction complete, my wallet thin and frail, but the shimmer of anticipation, it would not fail. For it's not about the price or the seats that were assigned, it's the passion, a connection that can't be confined. In that intimate moment with Jack Black and Kyle G, I'll be amongst the chosen watching the D. Though broke I may be, my spirit shall soar. As the rock gods descend and the crowd lets out a roar, I may be poor in wealth, yet rich in celebration, because Tenacious D concert is worth the inflation.
Well done.
Now, we're all dying to know how much that cost.
£121.
Fucking
With 2 free drinks
Wow.
and
That's not
parking.
too bad. That's not
Two
too
free drinks.
bad.
2 free drinks. Make sure they're Long Island iced
Fucking
teas, the most the most destructive cocktail known
Well,
to man.
bottles of champagne, hopefully.
Where have you got to go for that?
Pardon?
Where have you
Oh,
got to go?
Birmingham NEC, so it's fine.
Birmingham. Guess who she's going with? Biggie? Guess who she's fucking going with? Think. Guess.
Well, it's Acid Pearl, I assume.
And
Maybe Pip's better half?
yes.
Yeah. Can you remember when he asked us 3 lads to go with him as well? No, you can't, can you? Yeah. Fuck it, Stig, we'll go to
You
Leeds.
can come see the D with us.
I
You'll have to pay for a
I'm not
VIP.
going all the
though.
way
Rather
to
die.
Birmingham. Fuck that.
Fucking down south.
It's up north, Birmingham.
Yeah, but
Is
it's,
it from
it's 3 hours away. Where Leeds, if I wanted to see Tenacious D, Leeds is
Leeds?
like for 45 minutes.
and just go home normally afterwards?
Don't have to pay extra to stay over. But that's not a lot, Candy. That's not too bad. Like, when I'm looking for Olivia Rodrigo tickets for the girls. VIP package for like 600 quid.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more than I would
hell do you-
really.
Does she suck you off while you're there? Too much, then, sorry. Sorry. That's too much. I don't even know how old this lady is.
She's 20.
It's all right.
it's
It's all right.
Yeah, I was expecting you to come out and be like, yeah, it was like 300 quid, but that's not
Nah,
too bad.
man.
Parking, ticket's probably about 75.
Rig-a-goo-goo,
I think-
rig-a-goo-goo,
75 quid anyway
mate.
out
You're
there.
going to enjoy it.
I think tickets are rigagadoo 60 quid normally. I mean, it's more than I would like to have paid. It's definitely more than I can afford to pay. But it's the D. It's my husband.
Why don't you get it on Klarna, mate? Get it on fucking
I don't know how that
Klarna.
works. And also, you probably have to have a fairly decent credit history for that.
Yeah, you do. You have to have
That's
good
me out.
credit. Fucking yeah, I'm not surprised with these mad purchases. But I'm sure we'll get a review of that in 2027 or whenever you're
In
going.
May.
Do you get refunds on tickets if you're poorly or like that? If you can't
I
go?
did get the.
You can buy
I bought the
insurance.
insurance.
I wouldn't. I can't plan that.
No,
far
I might be
ahead.
dead by then.
Cannot. I will be dead by
Maybe.
then.
We got done over on that because we took the insurance out because it was during like COVID.
Yeah, so you never
But
know, do you?
It only covers you if you have COVID. So it didn't. So the fact that both my children had it, which meant that we couldn't go because we can't have someone come and look after them. This was like like just as like the first set of gigs were opening up. So
Yeah.
like couldn't go, and they went, it's only if you get COVID and you have to prove that it was you. And I was just like, oh, well, that was, and I just didn't want to go by myself. Kate was like, oh, wait, you go by yourself. I was like, there are bands I will go see by myself, but this one was like,
Yeah,
I was like, I'd
would.
rather have gone with you. So yeah,
Watch out, Candy. Make sure you've got the kids insured.
I will know this.
That's when Kate turns around and says, well, can I go?
Yeah, I don't want to go with you. I want to go on my own.
Kate trying to get somewhere by herself. You're having a laugh.
Anyway, that was a beautiful bit of prose, a lovely poetry, bit of poetry, a great candle, and not as mental as usual. Maybe she's getting a bit more mature, would you say?
But great.
Now, we shall see the patrons in a few seconds, but for everyone else, get out of here. Go on, scram. Bye.
Born.
We're bigger this weekend.
Didn't Chunder?
I went on about that.
No, just gobbled.
Just gobbled.
Oh, okay.
No wastage.